Hey, g'day! There's a lot you can solo farm as a hunter. You can clear basically any dungeon by yourself. You can defeat monsters 15 levels above you with ease. Red quests for a hunter, they're like green quests for anyone else. But, can we solo farm up some friends as a hunter? Well, let's find out. Our plan is to farm up the demonic runes. This is a powerful bind-on pickup consumable that drops off level 50 plus satyrs, and it was a mainstay of level 60 rating. The actual demonic runes have no level requirements, so they're an invaluable consumable for level 40, especially for healers. But the only issue is, healers are notoriously bad at killing mobs, especially mobs that are 10 levels above them. That's where we come in. There are 3 main places that we can farm the runes of varying goodness. Varying goodness, you say? Well, let's make a tier list. My brother said that my videos needed more tier lists, so I'm going to throw in a nice superfluous one here. Hi Matthew! This first spot is Southern Fellwood. These mobs have a slightly lower drop chance for the runes, and they're also in an awful spot. There's a whole lot of beasts between the road and the mobs, there's not really any wide open space that we can use, and there's no useful terrain to abuse. Also, one of the mobs casts Cripple, which is a huge pain. I'm just going to call that D tier, and we'll stay well away. The second spot is Northern Fellwood. These mobs are pretty nice to farm. There's not too many annoying abilities to deal with, and most importantly, we have a super good terrain abuse. We're going to put that straight to the A tier. So now here I am in Northern Fellwood, and here's a Jade Fire Trickster. This is one of the mobs I want to kill. I'll pull it back towards the road, but it's not the road I'm aiming for. See how there's a log next to a large tree, and then with a smaller tree between the log and the big tree? You can run through that gap, but mobs can't. They have to go the long way around. So all we have to do is duck back and forth past the little tree, and the mobs can never get to us. We're going to use a frost trap with the trap launcher rune to keep them slow, so we'll have plenty of time to get in lots of auto shots. And by the way, a huge mechanic here is that frost trap never fails, it never resists, it's the perfect slow. Even against very high level mobs, they can't resist you. Now that we've got the Trickster stuck pacing back and forth, let's look at his abilities. He has a Curse of Tongues, which makes all of our 0 casts take 50% longer. He has Curse of Weakness, which decreases our physical damage by a little, but really it doesn't make a noticeable difference. And then the only one that kinda matters is the Mind Control. If we have our pet out, or if the healer that you're farming the runes for gets too close, he can Mind Control. It is a pretty short duration though, so we didn't find any problems with it. The next sort of mob is the Jade Fire Hellcaller. These will come in a pack of 2. What we want to do is multi-shot to split pull them. If you just shoot one of them and then you let the other one social aggro, they're going to be linked together. But if we aggro them both at the same time, we can shoot one and then the other one will give up around 15 seconds. They have a fireball which we can outrange, but once we leash the second one, we have a 1v1. We can just face tank the fireballs and DPS it down. A healer can heal us as well, if needed. These mobs also do a rain of fire, which is actually a boon to us when they do that. It does very little damage compared to the fireball, and even that damage you can just step out of, and they'll continue raining on nothing like a complete idiot. Then saving the hardest for last, the Jade Fire Betrayer. It actually has no abilities, it does literally nothing. We just kite it to our log, and it's super easy. Now, overall this spot's super good, it's definitely worth that A tier, but the only reason it's not an S tier is that there's some beasts around. They will aggro onto us, and they don't really drop anything that we care about. Now don't get me wrong, it's not like there's any risk of them actually killing you, you can just kite them the same way as anything else. It's a little bit annoying, because it takes time to kill them, and you don't really get anything for it. So, can we do better? Well, there's Northern Ashara. Northern Ashara is basically like Jade Fire Run that we were just at, except the local wildlife are just some neutral stags that we can completely ignore, at least if we take it from the north. So I'm here in Ashara, right up the top, and we have a nice tree that we're going to use for our kite. Let's see how it works. We're starting with a Legashi Rogue. We shoot it, we run to our tree, and we can use some frost traps to slow it a little on the way to get in some extra damage, but that's completely optional. Then when we're at the tree, we're just going to run around the tree a little. Here I used a frost trap during the run over, possibly somewhat imperfectly, so I just run around a little until it's back off cooldown. Then I'm going to drop one on the tree. If it's close enough, it should get all of the area around the tree. And then once the mob is slow, we want to try and get into a perfect spot where we're exactly on opposite sides of the tree. Then we can just take one step left and it goes left, and then one step right and it goes right. Once that's in place, we are basically full DPS, same as that fellwood log. Now technically, the rogues have abilities. If they hit you, they have a poison that they put on you. They can gouge you, but that's melee range, and they can also backstab you if they hit you from behind. None of these are going to be relevant for us though, since we shouldn't ever be getting hit by them. This area also has Hellcallers. These are the same as the fellwood ones, except we get to single pull them, so we don't have to worry about leashing anything. I do like to pull them back just a little though anyway, just to avoid accidentally pulling adds. These mobs are much higher level than us, so they will aggro from a much greater than normal distance. It has Fireball, which we're just going to outrange, or we can face tank with our healer button healing the damage, and then Rain of Fire, which will just waste the mob's time. It's nice and easy. Also, they're caster mobs, so they have less health and less armor, and they're going to go down especially fast. Then finally, the Legashi Satas. These ones have a mana burn, but it's actually not that big of a deal. You can outrange it just like you do the fireballs of the Hellcallers, but what I tend to do is I just use Aspect to the Viper, which will give us infinite mana, and then I'll just tank the mana burns. They don't cast them all that often, and they don't do all that much damage, and this way I can just happily kite them around the tree like I do with rogues. Now in terms of drops, the demonic runes are about a 10% drop chance, and it takes maybe about a minute to kill each mob, so you should be getting at least quite a few each hour. And then these mobs also will drop Rune Cloth and Fell Cloth, both of which aren't used just quite yet, but it's probably wise to go ahead and keep them in your bank for next phase, and especially the Fell Cloth. It's likely to be nice and valuable. Also, you can get high level BOE green drops, which you could either save for next phase, or you could disenchant them for Dream Dust to use now. And that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please do consider subscribing, it helps me a lot. But until next time, bye for now.